Parliament descended into pandemonium when the former public protector stood up and uttered what many never believed would be uttered within the National Assembly walls. Arrest him now. Her sights were set on none other than President Cyril Ramaphosa, South Africa's beleaguered head of state, already under sharp public and opposition leader scrutiny. It was an instant charged with tension. Members of Parliament gasped, chairs scraped, and whispers became roars as she, with unyielding determination, directed her political finger firmly at Ramaphosa. For a fleeting moment, time stood still before the House descended into chaos. The charge was nothing short of dynamite, a profound and long-standing scandal, she asserted, had long been covered up. One that, if true, would shake the very foundations of the ANC and reshape the future of South African politics. The House could hardly contain itself. During her delivery of the revelations, chaos ensued. Opposition bench members sprang to their feet, calling for instant answers, and ANC stalwarts attempted to drown the accusations out with competing chants. The Speaker of Parliament pounded her gavel again and again, her voice rising as she attempted to regain order, but the mood had already developed beyond its control. Her declaration wasn't just impassioned, it was cataclysmically detailed. She accused a deliberate abuse of power, potential meddling with active investigations, and the invoking of executive privilege to keep quiet whistleblowers who had spoken out. She sketched a presidency which was not characterized by openness, but by deceit and cover-up. Everyone looked at her not as a former official, but as a female determined to pull truth out of the shadows. Her integrity, once the subject of national discussion, no longer weighed as heavily as what she had to say. There was no mistake in the message. This was not political drama. This was a call for justice. Whispers of a secret scandal about financial improprieties, foreign money, and backroom deals at the uppermost echelons of government have been circulating for months. Stories of bribes paid in foreign exchange, of clandestine meetings behind closed doors, of state funds diverted for personal enrichment. Now that she was out of the straitjacket of her old office, she asserted that she had evidence and testimony that established President Ramaphosa not only as a witness but as an active player. However, shrouded in specifics are the claims. The implications are damning. If true, they indicate a concerted attempt to cover up presidential misconduct, employing state institutions as protectors instead of weapons of justice. Her supporters glorified widespread tales of her as a hero, someone finally ready to speak truth to power, no matter the personal and political cost. Opposition MPs joined with her appeal, their voices blurring into cries of arrest demanded of Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa's faction scrambled into defense mode in the meantime. Within hours, ANC loyalists rushed to discredit the allegations as reckless and irresponsible, with government representatives denouncing the outburst as an unfounded political stunt. But notably, they did not confront the particular charges head-on. That silence only stoked more rumors. The ANC, previously weakened by infighting for power, corruption scandals, and a gradual erosion of public confidence, now confronts another crisis of existence. The president's supporters maintain that he has to be protected at all costs, and his opponents within the party rumor that it may be time for fresh faces to take charge. The danger of a full-blown civil war within the power corridors is an imminent one, and the implications could be disastrous, not just for the ruling party, but for the nation's stability as well. Behind closed doors, senior ANC leaders have allegedly battled over whether to respond to the fallout. Some believe Ramaphosa has to speak to the nation immediately to reassure people and stem the storm. Others claim that silence is golden, that permitting the scandal to rule the headlines will just legitimize it further. Silence might be an option no longer. On social media networks, on radio phone-ins, and in the streets, South Africans are calling for accountability. The slogan "Arrest him now" is trending throughout the nation, repeating the exact words that rocked Parliament. Citizens no longer accept evasive explanations and political sidestepping. They desire clarity, truth, and repercussions. The mood in the public is charged. Students are planning to march. Civil society organizations are demanding that there be immediate investigations, and lawyers are analyzing each sentence of the charges to check if indeed charges could follow. The mood is similar to that during previous scandals that toppled once mighty political leaders. Many are now left wondering if history is repeating itself. This is not the first time that Ramaphosa has been at the center of a controversy. From the much-publicized farm robbery scandal to ongoing issues surrounding campaign funding during his ascension to power, his presidency has been perpetually on the brink of scandal. But never before has a respected former government official stood in the middle of parliament and demanded that he be arrested. The symbolism is strong. Parliament, the house of the people, being employed not to protect the elite but to confront them. The pressure is now on Ramaphosa. Will he counter with openness, providing evidence and testimony to vindicate himself? Or will he pull back into evasion, depending on political allies to protect him as the storm holds beyond? Can the ANC weather another wave of division, distrust, and rebellion? Or will this scandal prove to be the proverbial straw that breaks the camel's back and shatters the party irreparably? And what will be the role of South Africa's justice system in establishing whether or not these charges are corroborated or dismissed as theatre? South Africa is at a crossroads. The future of the country is either along one path of responsibility, change and a reaffirmation of democratic values, or another of avoidance, silence and further corrosion of public trust. Whether this dramatic act in Parliament results in meaningful consequences or merely another moment in the haze of political gamesmanship is to be determined. But something is for sure. Something has changed. The silence is no more. The phrase "arrest him now" has cut through the layers of political etiquette, and millions of eyes are waiting with bated breath for what happens next. Even as the dust settles, the question looms large. Will South Africa choose justice or convenience? Will Parliament act decisively, or will this moment join the long list of dramatic speeches that sparked outrage but ultimately delivered nothing? For the time being, the country is holding its breath. The former public protector has thrown down the gauntlet, defying not just the president, but the very institutions of democracy. She made it brutally clear in her scathing speech that accountability cannot be kicked down the road forever. Justice cannot be differential, and power cannot serve as a shield against the truth. One woman yelled above the storm, "Arrest him now." Whether that shout rings out to be an echo that dissolves into nothingness or the first line in a new book in South Africa's democracy will be determined by what transpires in the days ahead.